Hello, hello, welcome back to Talking Tunes, and today we are talking about the 9 tunes on the supergroup Asia's self-titled debut album from 1982. Asia is a supergroup consisting of drummer Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, keyboardist Jeff Downs from both the Buggles and Yes, vocalist and bassist John Wetton from King Crimson, and guitarist Steve Howe from Yes. A supergroup made of guys from prog bands. This album is highly disappointing. Not because they're guys from prog bands, but because, for the most part, nothing even remotely proggy happens. Starting off with song number 1, Heat of the Moment. You've more than likely heard this song if your parents are roughly the same age as me and listen to 80s on 8 radio from Sirius XM. It is the only recognizable thing from any of these guys is John Wetton's voice. When the chorus kicks in, it sounds like a Lost Buggles number, which makes sense as Jeff Downs was one of the Buggles, as I just stated. There's an ambient moment, which is almost proggy, but not really, and that goes where a guitar solo should go. But of course, there's not a guitar solo on it, because it's 1982, and cool shit can't happen anymore. At least Carl's drums aren't drowned out by gated reverb, and Steve Howe plays one of his lamest solos at the end, and it fucking fades out. That's some bullshit right there. That is some bullshit. I just want to hear Steve Howe go nuts. But no, because of course not. Song number 2, Only Time Will Tell. It has an 80s synth intro that almost sounds like a ripoff of the Final Countdown. The problem is, I think the Final Countdown came out after this. I didn't double check. I didn't really care to, in all honesty. Never before have I been so bored by these master musicians. Howe feels chained down. Like, there's definitely a prog influence, but it's mostly in the production. It's mostly in the keys, and those don't even do anything cool. It's toned down, and it's very bleh. You can tell these guys worked on prog, but they're not putting their best foot forward here. Song number 3, Soul Survival. Sounds like something off of Yes's Drama. These musicians are actually showing some talent. Is that an organ I hear? Yes, it is. And it's played pretty well. Is it a Keith Emerson level insanity? No. But it's pretty good. When the chorus kicks in, it shows it's definitely 1982. Steve Howe finally gets unleashed for a pretty great solo, and the song is actually pretty proggy. So if you do want to listen to anything from this album, listen to Soul Survivor. Yeah, the album peaks early. Yeah. We're a third in, folks, and it's already blown its load. Song number 4, One Step Closer. It has the grossest 80s intro on anything I have ever heard, ever. It's an awful 80s pop song with nothing of value, and I want my 5 minutes I spent listening to it back, but I'm never going to get them back because I spent them listening to this song. It's awful. God awful. Song number 5, Time Again, for a song that sucks. It has an intro that would have been cool in 1976, but is annoying in 1982, and it gives way to another shitty 80s song. Not even Steve Howe's solo can save it. It's a good solo, it's a great solo, but it can't save it. It's the best part of the song, but it can't save it. Right? Not to shit on the solo, it's to shit on the song. It's the only time Steve Howe actually gets unleashed here. Wildest Dreams, actually, it has an actually proggy intro. Are they gonna, live up to the rest of it this time? Of fucking course not. Because Because, why would 4 prog musicians do that? And it has a really annoying thing where, like, Steve Howe, this album has a really annoying thing where Steve Howe almost gives you hope, but he doesn't unleash. He's not allowed to unleash. So, Steve, either give us hope, or either actually do something, or stop trying to give us hope. Song number 7. Without You, why does John Wetton sound like 90s Greg Lake for 30 seconds? This is an actual decent song, with some actually pretty proggy moments for once. A great solo from Steve Howe, finally. First instance of acoustic guitar on the album, and if the album was 9 of these, okay, so I lied. This is the best song on the album. If the album was 9 of these, obviously not the same song 9 times over and over and over again. That would suck. But if it was 9 songs like these and of this quality, I wouldn't hate it. But it's not that. It's bullshit. It would be a great time if it was 9 of those. Song number 8, Cutting It Fine. We've got an acoustic guitar kicks off, and it is... it's decent briefly, but it immediately turns into another generic 80s bullshit pop song with a long drawn-out 80s outro. It's almost like this and song number 9, Here Comes the Feeling, should have been swapped in the order, because the outro feels like something that should play at the end of an album. But no, there's one more fucking song. That sounds like the rest of the album, a song that could have been a hit by any band on any album at any point in the 80s, and much like the album, it vastly overstays its welcome. So apart from Without You and Soul Survivor, do not waste your time with this album. Even Heat of the Moment is not worth your time. Unfortunately, it would sell really well, and Asia would go on to tour for a while, and it actually would prevent an earlier Emerson, Lake and Palmer reunion, but that's a story for another day. Steve Howe wouldn't be on every single one of Asia's albums. He would leave, I believe, after the second one, and join up with Steve Hackett from Genesis for an album, and that would be with a group, GTR. That album is also terrible. I will leave a link to my review of that album in the description. Yeah, don't bother. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you have something to add, if you think I'm wrong, please feel free to, contribute to the conversation in the description down below, in the comment section down below. If you like my personality but don't necessarily want to hear me talk about albums all the time, I have great news for you. I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to the latest episode of that in the description down below. And if you want to hear what I happen to be listening to that day, or a 15-second segment at least, you can follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to that in the description down below. I post a song in my story there every single day. And with that, I would like to remind you to stay weird and keep jamming. See you in the next one. Take care.